Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday episode of Let's Talk Broncos. We already gave you a little recap of Sunday's game against the Houston Texans, where the Broncos somehow pulled off a win. And today we wanted to talk a little bit about who is rising and who is falling, otherwise known as stock up, stock down. Before we get to that, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Brie Maestas, if you're not already aware, and I'm here with Zach Seegers and Joey Richards. Guys, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Excited to be here with the both of you today. But yeah, I mean it's an interesting topic. Like beforehand, I guess before we even get into it, like picking fallers, which makes us all more confusing players wise, was a little hard, right? For a Broncos team that looked as bad as they did.
Because there's just two obvious choices. And I think like they're in
Yeah.
a different realm from everyone else, as we'll get into.
It's a weird thing. They looked terrible, but I have a hard time picking fallers. I don't know. Zach, how are you doing, man?
I'm with you. I think there's a fair number of things to be optimistic about, but yeah, absolutely a devastating start to the season, as we talked about on yesterday's show. And we'll get more into today. I'm just, it's good. I'm glad we're able to have all these joint therapy sessions together.
It really does feel like that. We're talking out our problems. We're doing a little bit of Broncos talk.
We're talking
so
Broncos.
Let's
perhaps
maybe it depends on how far we go off track today, but I think we're going to start with the positive and the stock ups for the Denver Broncos. Joey, I'm going to throw it over to you. I picked the other, but talk to me a little about DJ Jones.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will talk about DJ Jones,
the other brother.
I'm excited about DJ Jones, man. I'm in the process of going through his film as we speak and writing an article about DJ
He's got Game Pass open right now.
At the moment.
Watching.
No, I'm actually looking at Joey's questions of the day because I'm going to forget it.
Away from me?
Yeah, we have cheaters on the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. Anyways. Anyways, yeah, DJ Jones, great player. Really good player. Better than I even could have hoped, if I'm being honest with you guys. The guy is a monster in the middle of the defense. A really, really good run defender. The way he's able to use his hands and his body. When I played offensive line, I always struggled with the guys kind of built like DJ Jones, built lower to the ground, not the tallest guys, but so much power. They'll talk about lowest man wins all the time. If you have ever played football and have had an offensive line coach, you've heard lowest man wins.
You've had any coach ever. I think in 7th grade Pee Wee tackle football I was hearing.
You're 1,000% right. That's like you hear that from when you're a kid, like your very first
like 4th grade
football practice. Lowest man wins. DJ Jones kind of already has that with his stature, right? He's so strong, and he gets under you so easy that it's hard to control him. It really is. He's able to, ragdoll people sometimes, throw him completely out of the way, use his hands really well to read the gap and just fill the gap really easily. DJ Jones is a monster. I'm really excited the Broncos got him because, like I said earlier, he looks even better than what I could have hoped.
Is it harder to get under his pads then with his low center since he's just kind of like right out of reach?
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is, Brie. You can't, it's when you're a 6'5" offensive lineman or a 6'4" offensive lineman, getting his chest plate is so hard when he plays with a low center of gravity like he does. It's really impressive. DJ Jones is that guy.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I'll hop on over to the other Jones in Draymond Jones as I picked him for
really quick. I wanted to add on to the DJ Jones point.
Go ahead.
DJ Jones has just been remarkable. I think he absolutely dominated the 49ers game, or not the 49ers, the Seahawks game, rather. Already getting ahead of myself. And then was another force against the Texans. Just dominated Scott Quessenberry. You wanted to see him own that matchup. And he absolutely did. There were moments like that first 3 and out where he just took over a defensive drive and like single-handedly forced the 3 and out. You have him creating pressure on first down to blow up the screen, is in there on the run stuff on second down, and then on third down lays a thunderous hit just short of the 1 yard line on a really nice hustle play. I've loved what I've seen from DJ Jones so far.
Yeah, he's not just like when you picture nose tackle in your head, I think your brain automatically goes to like Vince Wilfork, right? Mm-hmm. Like a big, massive guy that controls the middle of the defense. He's able to tie up blocks,
and he can really play that style.
Exactly. He can do this type of thing. Kind of. I'm not going to say Vince Wilfork. Vince Wilfork was the best ever at it, but
yes.
But he can play that type of thing while also being athletic nose tackle guy. He can get after the passer a little bit, which is something you can't say for every nose tackle in the league.
And 3 pressures to that point. Sorry, Bree. 3 pressures through 2 games, including a quarterback hit. So
yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I just wanted to know what the benefits are of being a more athletically built, or is it a speed wise? Is it the
so I'll tell you, Bree, like with the game becoming more pass centric, having a guy that's only limited to the run and can't really do a lot in other areas, it's you don't really want that. Like it's something I look at in the draft all the time is for interior defensive linemen, can they affect the pass? It was a big deal for Jordan Davis this last offseason because if you're limited to only a certain amount of downs, it's not very good. You want to be able to affect the pass. That's a big deal. If you can have a guy that's in there stopping the run at his level and then also even just a little bit going after the passer, massive, massive plus in today's pass-centric league.
And even with that said, he's affecting the passing game. Even when he's not rushing the passer, because of kind of what you're talking about, he is a dedicated run defender. Like even though he has that ability to him, he's a dedicated run defender. And because he's so good at defending the run, it allows you to play an extra man in the passing game. That was the whole conversation with Jordan Davis too, where he's not that great of a pass rusher, but he's such a good run defender. He can double gap so easily, and that allows you, it frees up a defender on the back end for you.
Pushing the middle of the pocket is a big thing that no one really gives credit to. It really is. If you can get up the middle and you're stopping quarterbacks from being able to step up.
Best form of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And be able to deliver a ball. It's a big deal. How many times have you seen, if you really pay attention to the football, you'll see all the time edge rushers just get ran right past the quarterback because they're able to step right up. If you have a defensive lineman that's in there, and I think you're going to get to another interior defensive lineman here in a second, Bree, but that does this exactly very well, but stops people from stepping up. It's going to help your edge rushers. It's going to let them get to the quarterback at a higher success.
Can I use that as a segue into mine? Because I think it's
Go
really
ahead,
important to just show that Draymond Jones was integral in the ability to end some of those drives from the Texans, specifically with those 2 sacks that I think were just pretty they were statement pieces of the defense for the Denver Broncos. What was interesting to me though is he also had 6 tackles, 4 of them are solo, and it felt like they knew they needed to step up here. The offense wasn't not necessarily not getting it done, but the defense knew they had to take it just a step further. And what I think you can do is now trust the defense to know how to do that. I think it was just pretty impressive to see that done. So that's why I picked Draymond Jones. Can you guys talk to me a little bit about what you saw out of him on Sunday?
Yeah, just that interior pass rush that Joey's talking about, and he's been a force all season long.
Yes.
Just talking about that pressure, he's got 8 pressures so far or 7 pressures so far on the season. Excuse me, that's tied for 8th in the NFL behind guys like Chris Jones, Kenny Clark, Aaron Donald, Cam Hayward, Deron Payne, first round guys, some of the best in the NFL.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then you look at pass rush win rate for him, and where is he there? He's in 13th at 15.6% in true pass sets, which is taking out RPOs, play actions, some of the more gamed up stuff you can do to help protection. He's winning on 25% of his pass rush reps, which is insane production on the interior.
Right.
You just love to see it. I don't know. I'm really excited about Draymond Jones. I feel like we're seeing the breakout. His sacks came in big moments. He had a forced fumble on the quarterback that got recovered by the offensive lineman. That's 3 for the Broncos through just 2 games that's happened. Eventually you hope that goes their way, but I think you've got to be excited with what Draymond Jones has provided so far.
How can you not? Draymond Jones, pound for pound. He's been that guy I've been beating the drum with for a while now. Draymond Jones is.
Do you get that jersey yet?
Oh, when the Broncos re-sign him,
the moment that contract extension.
Yeah, I'll have that 93 jersey for sure. Draymond Jones is an awesome football player, guys. Like really, really good. It's rare you see his versatility. He can play inside and be faster than you and be so much more athletic than you. With different spins and swims and rips and different moves that an athlete at his level just couldn't do. Right.
Not to detract it all, but can you tell me what a swim is just so that I know?
Yeah, for sure. So it's just like a lot of the time offensive linemen get really aggressive, right? They want to blow you off the line of scrimmage.
Try and block me.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh.
Like you're doing a breaststroke.
It's like, so you're going to fire off. I'm going to hit you, and then I'm going to swim over the top.
That's
And
fantastic.
To chop your arms away.
Yeah, I'm
grab
going to
you.
swim over the top. It's really useful when offensive linemen are just firing out of their stance. They want to push you off the ball, line of scrimmage, right?
Got
Like,
This
it.
is a good move to be able to complete. It's almost like an Olay, right? Like it's like whoop, you swim right over the top. You're good. Like it's not a move like you won't see Mike Purcell, and I love Mike Purcell, but he's a dominant run guy. He doesn't have the athleticism in the pass game to really be able to do these swims and these spins and stuff. That's where Draymond, on the other hand, is really, really good. Draymond's not the
They're
most
a perfect pairing.
Yeah, Draymond's not the most stout run defender. He's gotten a lot better in that area since the beginning of his career. He went where he went in the draft because he wasn't the most dominant run defender, but his athleticism in the pass game is so good. And
He's a guy you
I'm
want
excited
getting
for him.
penetration, not just holding a block and eating up space.
And he's another guy where we talk about with DJ Jones, where last game on that first series, he had just a dominant series right there. Draymond Jones has like 5 or 6 of those a year where it's like, wow, Draymond just
He could
made
take over
3
a game.
plays in a row, forced the 3 and out, and they're done. We've seen that a bunch from him. And those are the flashes people are talking about and why everyone thinks, oh, this guy can really be a Pro Bowler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And before we get into mine, just because I didn't want all our risers to be on the defensive line, but I want to spotlight Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb too really quick, because they have just been fantastic. Randy Gregory, 2 forced fumbles in 2 career games as a Bronco. Bradley Chubb, I think they both have 2 sacks, because Randy Gregory didn't have a sack in week 1. Combining for 3 sacks through 2 weeks is also terrific production from those two. And then in terms of pressures, they're even ahead of that. I'm trying to pull up that number right now.
This would have been such a great opportunity for the Let's Talk
14
Broncos crew
pressures
to
through
have.
2 weeks.
Wow.
Between
Wow.
just those two. 7 pressures a week. Average, you're getting 8 from Gregory, 6 from Chubb over that 2-week span. That's phenomenal. Both of them have pass rush win rates over 20%, which is fantastic.
That's super. No, that is super exciting. Thanks for pulling that up, Zach.
They rank. Ooh, sorry. I suck. Baron Browning ranks 9th. Randy Gregory ranks 10th. And Bradley Chubb ranks 14th in terms of pass rush win rate
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
in the league.
Thank you for any other details.
I'm just waiting for you to
Want
start
to
another sentence.
Add to. No, that's
Anyways.
I'm so sorry.
No. I love it. I think that was a great addition. I'm really glad that you did that. What I was going to say was actually just more humorous, at least to me, because as you guys are trying to teach me swim maneuvers, right? The Let's Talk Broncos crew absolutely needs a set that we can walk out to, and you guys can actually do that
We
in
have
full
our
range of
ESPN
motion.
stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start a
Set, not set.
fundraiser Kickstarter to get the Let's Talk Broncos crew just a green screen with some fielding, a little bit of turf action, and then we can actually show you swim, and the other one was
Rip. You can do rips, spins.
someone's gonna get hurt, but I'm all for it. If it's a learning experience, I am down for it.
That'd be funny.
Zach just alluded to it. We're going to hop on over to the other side of the ball for an member of the offense who absolutely stepped up. We've been waiting for it. You could see him heating up and catching a little fire here in the last 2 games. And so talk to me a little bit about what you saw out of Cortland Sutton specifically, and what you think that's going to amass to later on.
Yeah, I had to make Cortland Sutton my riser because or stock up, whatever we want to call it, just because he put the offense on his back when they needed him most for that comeback. Yeah, just absolutely took over that game and showed he can still be an elite top flight wide receiver in this league, which I wanted to see it so badly. Like the whole offseason, I thought we started to see it during training camp, and then he had that fall with Darby. And I was honestly so heartbroken just because I was like, man, it finally looked like we got him back, and now he's hurt again. Now it's looking good, and I'm so ecstatic for the guy. He totally deserves everything that's coming his way right now, and made a lot of tough catches to do that. I know Brie and I were getting into it because she thought Wilson maybe wasn't putting Sutton into the best position to succeed. I think there's some truth to that, but I also think it's just like we need this play right now, and Cortland Sutton makes 50-50 balls, 70-30 balls, or 80-20 balls. And I'm going to throw it up there and bet on my guy to utilize his best ability, which is winning at the catch point, and Sutton did it consistently. And his ability to do that consistently was pretty much all the offense the Broncos had in the fourth quarter. He had no help in that receiving room. He might have not caught the game-winning touchdown, but he's the reason they were in position to score it. Yeah, I loved what I saw from Sutton, and I'm really, really happy for him. Hope he gets more help in upcoming weeks.
Yeah, and we were like a big toe out from another goal line fade touchdown right at the beginning of the game. Like
on an unbelievable catch. I think it's the thumbnail of this very show, but that photo is wild. He's like bobbling it and like twisting his body up. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, we could get into the back-to-back goal line fades, but I don't want to do that right now.
Well, we'll get to that.
We're getting to slide down.
I won't get into that. Anyways, Sutton he's a dominant guy out there, man. When Derek Stingley, all in all, I thought Derek Stingley had a pretty good game matching up against Courtland Sutton. Like for a rookie cornerback, Courtland Sutton's just a damn good receiver at the end of the day.
It was a little bit of a mismatch. I think you could tell that.
It definitely was a mismatch. It's just out of the fact
Stingley's
that
not a bad corner. After watching that game, I don't think it was like, oh, Sutton's getting to play a rookie corner, which I felt sometimes against Tariq Woolen. Against Stingley. Like Stingley played that tackle he had on the throw to Sutton out in the slant or in the flat, where I also was worried. I was like, oh, please tell me Sutton didn't just hurt his knee. Yeah, played a good game and Sutton still beat him up.
Yeah, Stingley had tight coverage on him. The catches that were made were just like, oh, Courtland Sutton made a hell of a play right there. A lot of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Sutton was really good. He's a guy that wins at the catch point at a really great rate. That's his number one trait when you're looking at Courtland Sutton, is his frame and how he's able to dominate physically at the catch point.
Does that excuse your quarterback putting you out of position and hitting you? Maybe just
listen,
outside
if there's
of
tight coverage and you put it up only where your receiver can get it, that doesn't
is
mean
that
it's a poorly thrown ball.
as long as it's intentional.
It's frequently done by quarterbacks all over the league.
Are
The
you
Broncos
trying to tell
haven't
me I
had
don't understand
quarterbacks.
ball?
The Broncos haven't had quarterbacks.
Just say I didn't understand ball.
No, I didn't say that.
Watch the tape.
Watch the tape. No, but the Broncos haven't had quarterbacks that I think are going to play in a like kind of veteran style. Like, oh, I've got Courtland Sutton. Let me go throw it up and he can go get it. That hasn't. I don't know. They don't have quarterbacks playing that way.
Okay.
I'm willing to give Russ some benefit on
that's
the
fair.
doubt on that. And not to say that was the case on all of them. Like that interception was just a straight up bad throw.
I'm kind of in between. I think. Do we have Russ as
yes,
we do. We'll get into that.
I'll get into it. I think I kind of been right in the middle of you guys.
Before we get to that one, because you've already given it away, I think we have to talk about one that takes a little bit more precedence than the other. Joey, you chose your stock down as.
I wonder who it is.
Ooh, I wonder who it could be.
Who could it be?
There's two positions on that team that I think a lot of pressure on their falls on their shoulders.
Yep.
And then we cannot go this episode without talking about Coach Nathaniel Hackett and a couple of the meltdowns that we saw. We talked a little bit about it on Monday, but tell me, Joey, why did you choose Coach Hackett as a stock down?
I think anyone listening to this right now knows why I picked Coach Hackett as a stock down. It was like, honestly, that's just what it is. Like, he didn't play good. I'm not going to make any excuse, or he didn't coach well, and I'm not going to make any excuses for the guy. He just didn't do it good. Like, it's 2 games in a row now. We had the big 4th down last week where he kicks what would have been the 2nd longest field goal of all time. I don't think any of us can make an excuse for that. Not good. Yeah, like that was not smart. Anyone watching the game says that's not smart. Russell Wilson was rolling, not good. For this game, I mean, I tweeted this morning. I was literally like, I woke up this morning and I was like, I should probably get like a Hackett tweet out there. Like the guy just wasn't performing. And I was like, damn, there would be a lot to include in this tweet. I couldn't do it. I had to literally type out like.
You weren't going to thread it.
I was going. Yeah, exactly.
I made like a 12-tweet thread about it today, and I felt like DMAC.
I was about to say I couldn't pull the DMAC, so I had to. All I did was make the one tweet where it was like, guys, Hackett didn't play good. I would talk about why, but it's just too much, because it was when we're talking about the Andrew Beck option play. Crazy, nuts. Not only because we're giving the ball to. We've seen other teams do this. We have. It's Taysom Hill. Andrew Beck's not Taysom Hill.
No. The pitch was to Taysom Hill on that play.
You're right.
The handoff was to their running back, which I think is Patrick Ricard, but number 42 on the Saints. I
we
don't know.
shouldn't be. I don't like.
I'm with you. I'm just saying it wasn't Taysom. If it was Taysom Hill, it'd be even more understandable. But it was a fullback for the Saints.
It's
too,
way
doing it.
cute when you at that time you're averaging 7 yards a carry.
And that's the thing.
Entirely way cute. And then on top of that, they didn't execute the play. They didn't execute it. It was executed poorly. They're not blocking the right people. They're doing the wrong things. Another example of the team looking unprepared in a situation.
On that play, before you go to the next thing, just I want to talk about that because that I think was a huge moment and grabbed everyone's like, what the fuck? Because that's worse than Rich Scangarello calling the end around to Noah Fant. I will say I like that it's a play design we've seen work before. The Packers ran it last year and it was functional. I don't have as much of an issue with the play design as I have with one. Like you said, the execution is terrible. So that falls on coaching. Clearly it wasn't practiced to a high enough level before. And then, I think some of it does fall on Beck for being too hesitant for the pitch because the read was there.
So I'll say this: the cute plays like that are cool until they don't work.
And that's the other thing. It should have been an easy first down if you just handed it off to Javonte. Why are you out thinking the room there?
Exactly. It's like a cool play. If that works and everything's executed, cool play. Still probably could have got it just handing it right up the middle. Like that's my issue there. We had a punt returner not know that he was supposed to go punt return. We burnt a timeout. That's coaching. We had delay a game that caused a McManus long field goal that he nailed. Thankfully. Get pushed back, and we had to send the punt team out there to punt the ball.
And that's the other thing. On a 59-yard field goal at elevation, which is within McManus's proven range before, it's a no-go. And then the 64-yarder at sea level is a go.
Yeah, it's just unacceptable. And you can go on and on about it. Like, there's more. It's just like, okay, now I'm starting to feel like I'm drawing this thing out.
Much,
like it was a ton. The Broncos, Zach tweeted a great little thread today about their or it would have been yesterday about their
penalties.
Their penalties and just how they're the number one team with penalties right now. They're undisciplined, coming from a team that we saw last year where they weren't penalized often. So it's a lack of discipline, and at the end of the day, that falls on coaching.
They are more penalized than 40% more penalized than the second most penalized team. That's a crazy gap. The gap between them and the second most penalized team, this is going into Monday Night Football. I haven't checked it since Monday Night Football. But so there's 28 teams that qualify here because of the Monday Night Football doubleheader. The difference between them and 27, so 28 and 27 in terms of penalties, is the same as the gap between 27 and 2.
Yeah.
Like it's a nightmare. The difference between them and second worst is the difference between second worst and the best. Like, that's insane. Right. And that's why I'm so concerned about Hackett, because it's not like it's bad. We've seen coaches come in and struggle with game management, whatever. Honestly, I expect it. I kind of expect there to be some bad rookie coaching moments. And if you dodge them, I think you're lucky. I expect there to be some. What we're seeing now is fucking ridiculous.
It's really bad.
This is the worst, in my opinion, the worst coaching performance through the first 2 weeks of a coaching career I've ever seen. I know he's 1-1, but he's not 1-1 because of anything the coaching staff did. It's because of the talent on the roster and the easy schedule. This is, like, again, in terms of coaching output through 2 weeks,
it's bad.
Maybe the worst ever. The only saving grace is what Ejiro Evero is doing on defense right now.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about it not being Fangio, but then I just decided to move on.
Yeah, in 2 more weeks of this, and I'm going to be talking.
Yeah, I will say, ding. I think that's a ding.
How? I said 2 more weeks.
I think that's a ding.
How is that? I said 2 more weeks, and I'm going to.
But it feels.
I didn't defend him yet. I said
it's a little presumptive,
weeks.
right? You see what I'm saying, Bree? It's a little walk in the line.
I was trying to walk him over the line.
Yeah.
And he literally stopped and leaned over and caught himself. So I think he's safe for now.
Exactly. That's my go-to. That's what
listen.
I will say, I think Hackett. I'm glad we got the clock management stuff sorted out with this new head coach.
It's like a repeat offense. It's almost.
I put out a tasty piece of cheese there, and he still didn't go for it.
Who is I think Nate Tice tweeted it out yesterday morning, and it made me laugh because that's what I woke up to. Was basically that it sounds like it's a bit of a bit Like, it's so ridiculous that it seems comical. And I think, Zach, you also
He's a
referred
meme
to
coach.
it as a comedy of errors that now, no, Hackett is entirely and explicitly memeable at this point.
Oh, extremely. We've made fun of meme quarterbacks in the past because they're funny and they're meme quarterbacks. Hackett's in meme coach territory. Like,
No,
if
it's getting there.
if he gets one and done, we're going to be making Hackett jokes for a year. Kind of like I think McDaniels ended up being in meme coach territory. This guy, and you'll see it in our thumbnail for tomorrow's episode. This guy is a certified meme.
Okay, I said before the season started that, I was enjoying Hackett's energy because it was such a shift from the previous regime. But my hesitation was that if things did not start off swimmingly, and I knew there was going to be a little bit of a slow start, that Broncos country would turn, and they would turn very quickly 180 degrees and front face and just meme the hell out of Coach Hackett. And I think that's what's going to start happening because it's not cute anymore. Like, it's not cute. And I think if you go up to the podium after a game and you're like, you know what? We know we made some mistakes. No, own them.
We just got to go out there and play like the Ewoks did against the Stormtroopers in episode 6.
Shoot, oh my God. Zach will no longer be credentialed inside the locker room. That's okay. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, to your point, it's not cute anymore. I think just everyone's like kind of tired of it. You've got to.
I was tired of it, and now I'm just beyond.
Tell me about it. I was tired of it forever.
Yeah.
I did not.
He was always too good.
I was never.
And I'll say that I don't want it to get muddled that like, oh, you can't have a player coach. I think having a player coach is kind of necessary in the modern NFL. But you have to have a disciplined head coach. Like Sean McVay, we were talking about it after the game, off show. Like, I don't know, Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and all these guys are player coaches, but they're also disciplined.
Yeah.
Like, they have their shit together. This is so undisciplined. It is, I don't know. It's incomprehensible to me how bad it is through 2 weeks. It looks like a thought experiment of what if you had practically all the roster pieces, but the worst head coaching thing possible. Like all those thought experiments last year about like, what would a win-loss record be if you made Urban Meyer the head coach of the Chiefs or something like that. Like, it feels like that's what this Broncos team is, some wacky, wild thought experiment. And I hate it.
I'm going to, unless you have anything else to add to the Hackett discussion.
Yeah, no, he's just not very good right now.
I'm going to use that to transition into mine, which will come as no shock to most people. I went with Russell Wilson, and I want to know how much of Wilson's maybe hesitations on the field, if you're calling him an elite, 10-year vet, and we're still having issues with his run of the offense. Like, if you're Russell freaking Wilson, you should be commanding that offense. Maybe calling some time. I know you're going to fight me, but let me get through my statement first.
I know. I'm just ready for it.
I know, but you're shaking your head at me already because we've already had this conversation on Monday of like, I feel like there's a bit of a delay with what Russell Wilson thinks he needs to do and what he's actually doing. Do I think the Broncos are moving the ball successfully? Absolutely. Do I think that he has something to do with that? Absolutely. I'm not saying Russell Wilson is a bad quarterback, but I think if you tout him as the saving grace in the puzzle piece that was missing, then there shouldn't be the level of mistakes that there's being with his communication with the coach. So give me a second. I'm still not finished. I think Russell Wilson has kind of shown that, like, if you're going to come in here and command the offense, then I need to see a little bit more from you because I just don't think it's there yet. I think it's the slow start. I think he needs to gel with the rest of his receivers and his targets. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing out of Russell Wilson. I think he's just off step. And I know we've talked about it. We talked about it on Monday on the Fan Cave where we think it's a delay in his game because he's slowing down a little bit. And that's just a natural progression. I took him as a follower because I think it's an important conversation to have because I think there's people in Broncos country who feel somewhat to the same wavelength. But talk to me and tell me your side of it, Zach. What are you seeing?
Well, he's a follower. I just think you're going way too far with it. And like I've heard patience preached for years now in Broncos country at the quarterback position.
Though. Let's talk about Russell Wilson.
I'm talking about him. I let you finish.
Right.
Let's chill down. I've heard patience preached in Broncos country for years at the quarterback position. And now I'm hearing a Tom Brady fan who just watched Tom Brady go to Tampa and get lit up in his debut.
How often
and remain elite. Not that often, but we're talking about the same thing here with Russell Wilson. We've seen it with not just Tom Brady, but also Matt Stafford. And I do think it's both. I'm disappointed with what we're seeing from Russell Wilson right now. I am a little worried he's over the hill and the Broncos have bought some damaged goods. I think there's concerns there. However, the complete lack of patience and like, man, he has to have control over this right now already. He's getting his second set of live reps. Like, I don't know. I don't think he has to have command of this offense right now. Is his performance still disappointing? And that's why he's in fallers? Absolutely. He was supposed to be an elite quarterback, and he is certainly not that right now. I think it's acceptable given the context, given the past comparable examples that also struggled early on. But yeah, it's really disappointing right now. And he does look a little old, a little slow. And to bring back Nate Tice again, he said an immobile Russell Wilson is pretty much just Baker Mayfield. Russell Wilson's looking a little immobile, and Broncos don't want to be paying $250 million for Baker Mayfield.
I wasn't trying to be defensive because I agree with everything that you said the way that you said it. I think that when I say something negatively, there's a past participle of like, well, you used to be patient with it. Like, I get that. What I'm saying is Russell Wilson is not living up to the expectation that we had for him right now. And he was a faller specifically during this game for the reasons that we've already stated. So I'm not saying I can't have patience that he'll eventually turn it around, but like, we weren't fighting about it. We just say it in a different way. Joey, God damn it. What?
She sounds like she's fighting. She sounds like she's fighting.
I'm raising my
That's
hand.
just my voice.
I can't raise my hand.
Joey Richards, go ahead.
Thank you.
I don't know what he's trying to fight us.
I think you guys are both saying, and I think people listening to this podcast are going to realize that you guys are both saying the exact same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why she's fighting.
You're the one who's fighting me.
I seem very
No, as the
level-headed
media-
and
as the
chill.
media-
I don't
no-
know why you're getting so fighty.
no, as the mediator here, you guys hopped into this conversation wanting to argue about it, and you guys were just arguing but saying the exact same thing. Like,
I went first.
You were-
so he repeated me.
let me can I break this down real quick for you?
I would no.
Bree started off being like, Russell Wilson needs to play better, but I'm not willing
It
to
was
give
the
up on it
command of
yet.
the offense stuff.
And
It was
then-
the command. We're
One sec.
having
Hold
some
on.
revisionist history on the
let
statements
Joey-
that just
let
happened
Joey
and have
judge.
been DVR.
Break down what just happened real quick.
Without interruption, I will shut my mouth.
Bree started the conversation saying Russell Wilson needs to play better. He didn't. He didn't look good enough. And then you said he's not playing good enough, but we need patience. And then Bree responded and said, I'm not giving up on him. And then you were like, yes, you are. And then it was just like a back and forth of everyone agreeing. And
Now, see, I agree. When you remove
you guys agree.
when you
done.
remove the elements of the argument where I disagreed with Bree, we did fully agree.
No.
My thing is on the command of the offense thing. I think it's acceptable. He doesn't have it right away from day one. We've
That's
seen
fair.
it in
I said
comparable
that it could happen.
circumstances.
Like, it needs to happen. I'm not seeing
Yes.
it.
If it's this way in week 10, it's a 5. It's DEFCON 1.
Let me break it down. We all agree here on Let's Talk Broncos that Russell Wilson needs to play better than he did these last
stop
couple
fighting
weeks. Russell Wilson needs to play better than he did these last couple weeks. But we're not giving up on Russell Wilson yet. It's his first 2 games here. And we think that there's a good chance that our future Hall of Fame quarterback could improve. We all agree.
It feels like we're using all the tools that were given to us at family therapy and we're just coming through with it.
Oh,
Like,
man.
we're just talking it through and breathing it through.
Well, this is good.
I'm ready to put the hat back.
We got through the 2 like
Contentious
painful
ones,
ones, and
yeah.
now I get a do a little victory lap, and I get to make fun of myself a little bit.
I absolutely cannot
So
wait. Get to it.
I'll make fun of myself a little bit because I know Joey's gonna make fun of me on my victory lap anyways.
It's ridiculous.
Jalen Virgil, total mistake. Man, I bet them that Jalen Virgil would be more productive than KJ Hamler this year. And let me, for the record, state that through 2 weeks, it is a tie. It is a tie through 2 weeks. Right now, it's dead even. However, the fact that every wide receiver on the Denver Broncos was injured last week, seemingly, and Jalen Virgil was still a healthy scratch, and they promoted Kendall Hinton from the practice squad and immediately threw him into the starting lineup, suggests to me that my Virgil take is pretty much in the grave. That's a faller for me. Not feeling good there. And they should get him. That receiving group on Sunday had nowhere near enough juice. Let's give my boy Jalen Virgil a chance.
Now you're just arguing with yourself.
I'm Jalen Virgil. I like Jalen Virgil. Now I'm also a pretty big KJ Hamler fan. I think that
But
he's
KJ
supposed to
didn't
be
play in
back.
week 2. That was the problem.
Supposed to be back this week.
Okay, what if they keep doing the week on, week off stuff? What if they keep doing the week on, week off stuff week 4?
I don't
Would
know.
be
I don't
hard.
understand the Tyree Cleveland thing, but let's move on.
You're still
All right.
still puzzled by Tyree Cleveland. All right.
Joey wants to get to calling me a hater, but I'm right on this because I think when you look at the bad performances, like unless I was going to say something like health or whatever, but we already got the updates there and we already talked about that yesterday. My faller, and I think if we're going to the premise of rising stocks and falling stocks, this is a penny stock. This is an NFT. It's volatile. It's going up. It's going down a lot. Andrew Beck, because Andrew Beck couldn't have had his stock price be any lower going into week 1. Then saw, I think, the steepest shoot up of any player on the Denver Broncos by actually playing good football, making 2 wild receiving plays, making awesome blocks, having about the best 10 snaps you could have possibly asked for him. And then he comes back this week, has mistakes in the blocking game, the mistake on the pitch, where I agree it was a poor decision, but the read is there for the pitch. He should have. I'm glad he didn't make the pitch because it would have been probably a turnover. But like, watch the play. The read is there for the pitch. He is supposed to pitch it on that play. That is also a mistake on his part. And then you have the running into the kicker penalty, which if the Texans were like 6 inches further up, it gives them a free set of downs and puts the Broncos in an even worse position in, I believe, that third quarter. So yeah, he doesn't play a lot of snaps, but he went from 10 awesome snaps to 10 terrible snaps. That's the definition. That's the textbook definition of stock down.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is grade A hating.
Give me your Andrew Beck defense. Give me your Andrew Beck defense.
He's the damn fullback. When have we ever put the fullback in the risers and fallers?
Last week. He was a riser last week.
Because he caught a one-handed ball 30 yards down the field. I don't know what else we want.
He had 10 amazing snaps. He had 10 terrible snaps.
They weren't that crazy.
What
bro.
else?
That's the
They
textbook
weren't that
definition.
nice.
That's the textbook definition.
This is ridiculous.
That's the textbook definition.
Andrew Beck is our
The other option was
wild
Stooks,
card.
which I will say was a better option, but we were already talking about coaching, so we should have just addressed him during coaching. Give me a better faller, Joey. Go.
Throwing the fullback in the fallers.
This is a sidestep.
is
Give
wild.
me a better faller.
A faller, Stooks.
I already eliminated that one. Give me a better faller. Give me a better
Dwayne
faller.
Stooks.
Give me a better faller.
Dwayne Stooks.
I
need to
said we
name
should have
two?
talked about that in coaching because we were already spending all that time on coaching. I wasn't going to bring it up again. You already hit the mantra Washington and the field goal stuff in the Hackett section. Give me another one that we didn't already discuss.
I guess. Beck.
Or I'm doing my victory lap on Andrew Beck.
Yeah, you could have just left it at
If
Jalen
you
Virgil.
literally-
I don't
he literally
understand
just went,
this.
or I'm doing my victory lap on Andrew Beck.
Well, okay, let the record show. I need to name 3 more followers for it to be okay. I need Jalen Virgil.
Andrew
I
Beck's
need-
but
I
Jalen
need
Virgil
Dwayne
didn't even play.
Stooks.
Jalen Virgil's a reach.
And then I
you know
need
it.
a whole
Virgil's not
nother
a better
one.
one. Virgil's not a better
He goes,
one. Stooks was, and we already
Beck.
talked about coaching. Beck is
And
a
then
good
we
one.
took 2. So
Well,
we
you
need
took the obvious
6.
too. Beck is a quality faller here, and the chat backs me up.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They shouldn't.
They don't.
You can see the comments right now. They
Alright.
back me up.
You can see.
I can't
in
believe
front of you.
Joey's the Beck defender,
I'm not even.
the
It's
Beck
just like,
bouncer, the Beck boy.
It's not even. It's like just like I don't know, like when we put the fullback into follers,
The
it's
Beckinator.
crazy. Like
The Beckinator.
it's not like you got
The
like
Beck Beckoner.
we had all these players play
It's a
so
little
much.
Downton
The
Abbey
Beck
for me.
Beacon.
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
I'm getting you an Andrew Beck jersey. You can change the 8 into a 9 if you want.
I love this energy in the studio right now. It is incredibly warm though. So I think you guys are good on the
I'm good. I'm good.
risers, fallers, stock down, stock up, crashing bull bear market. Awesome. Let's get to the very special part of the evening because it's Joey's question of the day.
Joey's question of the day, brought to you by Bad Tight End Play.
He played fullback. Anyways, which head coach led the Broncos to their first playoff appearance?
Led the Broncos to their first playoff appearance?
Yeah.
Reeves.
Red Miller.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that one was easy. I'll come back. I'll come back next
See y'all
show.
tomorrow.
I'll come back next episode with the heavy hitting Joey's question of the day. That was pitiful.
My sports for my writings. I can underscore Seekers on Twitter.
Everyone go follow me at Joey Rich or at JR Drafts.
That's his burn.
You can also look me up, Joey Richards. And then, guys, I'm releasing an article on TJ Jones, as mentioned earlier. Make sure you're going to go read that when that comes out. Yeah, everyone.
You can go read it on milehighsports.com, where you can also find all the playbacks of your favorite podcasts, including the Fan Cave from 1 to 2 p.m. on Mile High Sports, the Let's Talk Broncos podcast, 6 p.m. Every single day. But through the rest of the season, we're going to be taking Thursday nights off so that we can watch Thursday night football, which means you'll see us on Saturday for game previews. I just wanted to let everyone know of that change and that update. I'll be saying it all week until it sinks in, and you can repeat it back to me. Follow me on Twitter at BreeMastis303. And we'll catch you tomorrow on a Wednesday episode of Let's Talk Broncos. Been a great time. Let's go Broncos. And I'm not even saying.
Yeah, I'm not doing it this week.
Joey loves Andrew Beck because he loves the military.